so many of our chamber members who have said to us that the issue of crime is a concern. We've worked really hard to be proactive in looking at it from the business community's perspective and what we can do to help. One thing I'd like to point out is that this is not new subject matter to the chamber. We have been working on the issue of public safety for a number of years, and we have a list about this long of things we've done in that arena over the past 2 or 3 years. Some of the things that have happened in the community in the past couple of years have been very disturbing. Some of the shootings that have occurred in different parts of the city, and we have gone the extra mile to help businesses understand about the importance of safety for their employees and for their business opportunities, and we have utilized the services of the Greenville Police Department to help educate our members in that respect. So, like I said, it's important to note that this is not new territory for the Chamber, but it's also important to note that recent events have caused our members to come to us and say this.
What I wanted to talk about was the UCR crime report. UCR means Uniform Crime Report. This is the information that we send to the State Bureau of Investigation as well as the FBI. A lot of the things that you read about in the newspaper, this is where these crime numbers come from. This is the total index of reported crimes that was reported by the city of Greenville in 2008 and 2007. If you notice, in 2008 we had 8 homicides, 2007 we had 8 homicides, 6 in 2008, which reflected a 25% reduction. Rape, 20 in 2007, 13 in 2008. Robbery, 275 in 2007, 243, so forth and so on. And this, again, reflects around the nation. Violent crime in 2008 was down 5%. Property crime increased by 4%. And what you see in the newspapers, what you hear the most about, is the 3% increase that's reported. And I'm going to go into a little bit more detail as we go on. But across the board, pretty much across the nation, what we have been experiencing, what we're seeing in law enforcement is violent crime is down, property crime is up. Violent crime is your robberies, rapes, murders, and that sort of thing. Property crime is your burglary, larcenies, auto theft, pretty much those type of crimes. And again, what we're seeing here in Greenville is an increase in property crimes, but violent crime seems to be. Since this was the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm sure there's a lot of business owners in here, I thought this slide was very, very important. In 2007, and these are just commercial robberies. These are not robberies of individuals or anything like that. These are commercial business robberies. We had 109 in 2007. We had a 63 in 2008. That's a 42% decrease. I think that's something that we should be proud of. Like I said, one robbery is a robbery too many. But anything that we can do to reduce these numbers, to be more aggressive. And I remember in 2007, we had a very, very bad period there during the summer. We put together what we call a robbery response plan. We directed our officers in the particular areas where these things were occurring, and we arrested a lot of people. I think it was, over the year, it was about 90 people that we arrested for robbery. I think this decrease is a direct reflection of that activity. This is the first 6 months of 2009. And these are the numbers that we're seeing as of June 30th. Naturally and unfortunately, homicides was up over the same period. We had 3 in 2008. We've actually had 6 as of today. We had 6 all of 2008, and we've already had 6 this year. So that's something that we're just going to have to work a little bit better on. But right now, that's where we are. We've had 6 homicides so far this year. Rapes are down 83%. Robberies are down 12%. Aggravated assaults are down. And again, that's consistent with what I said earlier. Violent crime itself is down. What we're having a problem with, one of the biggest things that you'll never read about that really does have, I don't think is considered, is the population. Greenville is the 2nd fastest growing city in the state of North Carolina. Cary is the fastest growing. Right now, our population is very close to 80,000. Quite frankly, it's probably over 80,000 now. But look where we were in 2004. Where we were in 2004, the population, the number of crimes committed versus 2008 population and the number of crimes reported. 2004 to 2008, the city's population increased by 12,104 persons, or by almost 18%. If you look at that per 100 people versus the crime, it actually dropped. And that's something you're not going to hear about. You're not going to see it in the papers. It's not going to be reported. But again, I don't want to dismiss the fact that we do have a crime problem. We have a crime problem that's probably consistent with any other city our size. You know, we can't dispel that. We can't dismiss that in any way. Crime is a primary issue, and one of the things that we have to do is continually try to keep control of crimes are committed by repeat offenders. We have one detective, what we call a career criminal detective, that does nothing but that. He tracks these individuals. Every week he makes a presentation about who's getting out of jail. If we have a rash of robberies or something like that, one of the things we look at to see who we've arrested previously and are they out of jail, because quite frankly, if they don't have some type of means or some way to change their lives, most likely they're going to go back and commit another crime. So we kind of look at that. We haven't made a comparison from other cities, but personally I do think that our folks do a very good job of identifying a lot of these individuals and trying to keep them off the street as much as possible. One of the things that the City Council has done is to promote a reentry program. And we secured a grant from the Governor's Crime Commission, and we're working with Strive, that it basically targets nonviolent individuals who will be getting out of the correctional institutions and trying to help them re-enter the community to make a positive impact. Because quite frankly, like I said before, and we talk about repeat offenders all the time, if an individual gets out of jail, he doesn't have an education, he doesn't have a place to live, and he doesn't have a job, what is he going to do? He's going to commit a crime. He's going to go back to doing exactly what he did before. So law enforcement has recognized this finally, and there's a lot of different programs out there to try to reintegrate some of these individuals back into society. And again, we're only talking about nonviolent individuals. We're not talking about convicted robbers or sex offenders or anything like that. Those individuals who have probably made a mistake in life, trying to reintegrate them back into the community so that they don't commit another crime. And I think part of the problem is we are perceived that we have a huge gang problem in the city of Greenville. We don't have a huge gang problem. We do have a gang problem. Majority of our gangs that we talk about, that we deal with, they're not real structured. You can't compare them to LA, DC, Detroit, or anything like that. They don't have that hierarchy of that structure. It's more cool to be in a gang. Now, some of these crimes being committed by these associated gang members, yes, but I would say a very small few of the crimes are being committed. Most of the things that we have to deal with is just the fights and the confrontations and that sort of thing. But we do have a gang problem. We have a 4-person gang unit that does nothing but focus on these individuals, and I think they've done a good job as far as dealing with it. But the perception is, and one of the things that you hear is that Greenville is a gang-ridden community. Well, that's just flat out